Let's start with a simple question. How much exercise does the average American get per week? An hour? 30 minutes? Well, of course the answer varies from person to person, but the bottom line is not enough. According to a Gallup poll taken last year, almost a third of Americans reported no exercise whatsoever, and only a moderate amount reported even the minimum amount of exercise needed to have any noticeable health benefit whatsoever. So who then in today's society would be crazy enough to run, not only a minimum distance, but far beyond, 26.2 miles far to be exact? That's right, folks, I'm talking about running a marathon. Though it's often been said that only 1% of people will ever do it, that certainly doesn't mean that only 1% of people can. In fact, with a little motivation and some smart preparation, just about anybody can run this classy distance, reaping extraordinary physical and mental rewards in the process. Well, don't everybody get up right this second and start training. Maybe a little more information would be nice. So let's get right down to it. Running is good for you. According to the Harvard Women's Health Watch, this type of aerobic exercise is cheap, it's readily available, and one of the single most effective steps one can take to prevent chronic and potentially fatal diseases. Setting aside just 2.5 hours per week can greatly boost energy levels, provide a general level of fitness, and help stave off unwanted medical complications. It doesn't matter what your age is, says the article, everyone 18 to 81 and beyond can reap these life-changing health benefits. But it's not all about looking great and shaving those runner's legs. There's plenty going on beneath the surface as well. Says Dr. Melinda Southern of LSU Health Science Center in New Orleans, running has been shown to increase immune cell growth, help destroy tumor cells, viral infected cells, and even help eliminate injured tissue. According to the same article, running has been shown to help maintain a better level of blood sugar in diabetics, and even increase bone density in both younger and older runners. So, with the motivation of working towards a goal, such as a marathon, runners can easily capture not only these physical benefits, but mental ones as well. Now, as thousands of runners around the world will tell you, running makes you feel good. Just about everybody's heard of the myth of the so-called runner's high, a flood of endorphins released in the bodies of long-distance runners that can produce euphoric effects. Well, in 2008, a research team in Germany conclusively showed that this was indeed the case. In their paper titled The Runner's High, Opioidergic Mechanisms of the Human Brain, the scientists showed that these increased mood levels remained significantly elevated even hours after exercise. Runners reported increased confidence and self-esteem, feelings that remained not only on the track, but in all other aspects of their daily lives as well. Pediatricians Gaynor Parfit and Roger Essen of the United Kingdom draw a strong correlation between the mental health of children and adolescents and the amount of exercise they did. Children who ran on a consistent basis had far more positive psychological profiles than those who did not, and they were far less likely to experience anxiety or depression than their more sedentary counterparts. So, marathoners and other long-distance runners not only gain this fantastic sense of achievement, but they also carry along the mood-boosting side effects of their training with them, even when they're not hitting the road. So now that some good reasons have been laid out for wanting to pursue this goal, how does one actually go about doing it? Well, as many may well know, the marathon traces its origins back about 2,500 years ago to the first Persian invasion of ancient Greece. The legend goes that Phidippides, an Athenian, ran about 25 miles to his home city to report the Athenian victory at the Battle of Marathon, whereupon he promptly died of exhaustion. Daniel Lieberman of Harvard and Dennis Bramble of Utah University humorously point out that instead of this story serving as a warning to those wishing to run long distance, the sport has only increased dramatically in popularity over the past century. And unless you're running with a full suit of armor after a tumultuous battle, you're not likely to die either, or even injure yourself, as long as some precautions are taken beforehand. First, right off the bat, know that literally just about anybody can run a marathon. In 1978, Greek runner Dimitrios Jordanidis set the world record for oldest marathoner at age 98. Just last year, Army Major Phil Packer, disabled from injuries sustained while serving in Iraq, completed the London Marathon. So if these guys can do it, anybody can do it. But of course, that doesn't mean that everybody can just jump off the couch right this second, put on those training shoes, and start an intense training regimen. People who are in poor physical condition or have been sedentary for long periods of time will need to consult a doctor before starting a training program, and it may take weeks or even months to build up to a level where running is possible. And once there, most people's goal is just to complete the 26.2 mile distance. There's plenty of beginner training programs out there. Everyone from professional runners to amateur running enthusiasts have written plans for the aspiring marathoner. Runner's World lays out a pretty fantastic 16-week program that lays out important aspects of long-distance running, like a gradual increase in mileage to help build endurance and prevent injury, and along with plenty of rest days to recuperate after those long runs. So though undoubtedly a challenge, hundreds of thousands of both men and women from all walks of life have been able to claim success on the days of their marathons when they cross the finish line. Well, maybe this all sounds like a little more trouble than it's worth. Well, if Mr. Jordanidis were here, that 98-year-old marathoner, he'd probably say, with some credibility, that it's never too late to start setting goals for yourself. Running is one of the most simple and primal sports, a competition not between teams, but largely against oneself, pushing oneself to achieve the highest levels of success, of which you may not have even realized you were capable of. Through this internal challenge, one can not only get in prime physical condition, but achieve a psychological well-being and an unrivaled sense of accomplishment. So next time temptation strikes to kick back on the couch, consider kicking up some dust on the racetrack, and know that with a little hard work, just about anybody can run this classic 26.2 miles of a marathon.
6 minutes.